So first and foremost, thank you to Mystery Tackle Box for sponsoring today's video. But today we're doing something a little bit different. So we might as well just throw this away. Actually, wait, we'll need that box. Okay, just kidding. So, if you're a sponsor of this box, so more specifically the Inshore Saltwater box, you may have seen a few products that are from a new brand that Ketchco has recently launched, and that is the Salt Native brand. You can see right here. Now, if you see my channel and the videos that I've done with Ketchco, Mr. Tackle Box, and Carl's, a lot of their gear, I'd say like 95% of the gear that they sell on their website is geared towards freshwater fishing, you know, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, panfish, those kind of things. But they are just now starting to increase their presence in the saltwater game, and it's something that I'm very excited about and I'm excited to share with you guys. So in this most recent box, they did include a couple of baits from this Salt Native brand. And what is this Salt Native brand? Well, it's a new line of products that's going to be sold on the Carl's, shopcarls.com, and they're doing it in conjunction with another YouTuber. His name is Lawson Lindsay. Now his channel is a lot bigger than my channel, but I will say that his style of content that he's putting out is very similar, in my opinion, to the style of content that I'm putting out on my channel. So if you're interested in East Coast fishing, you know, snook, tarpon, jack crevalle, all those kind of things, which I, by the way, would love to do. It's kind of hard to get over there now with all the difficulties with traveling, but someday I'll get over there and do some of that fishing. But in the meantime, if you're interested in seeing more of that kind of content, definitely check out his channel. Again, it's Lawson Lindsay. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. Now, this lighting is not ideal today. You're probably not going to see my face very well, but what you will see are the baits, and that's the most important part. So what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm going to go through the entire Salt Native product line, kind of give my take on how these baits might play or won't play a role on our West Coast fisheries. So let's get to it. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, at the end of this video, I'm going to actually take some of these baits out on my kayak and see if I can get my first ever Salt Native caught fish. Probably the first one ever on the West Coast from anyone. Anyways, let's get to it. All right, let's start with the two baits that came in last month's Inshore Saltwater box. First off, the casting spoon. Here on the West Coast, or really anywhere, even freshwater, spoons and cast masters, you know, this kind of thing, are just like a great all-around bait. They shine, they come through the water, they give a little shimmy, kind of like a fish. Now, my take on these kind of baits is they're not gonna perfectly imitate any specific bait fish, but you're going to pretty much be able to catch, if the conditions are right, any kind of fish on this, because it really all it's doing is imitating a bait fish. It shines and it wiggles just like a little fish. It pays to just keep one of these in your tackle box. I mean, you never know what's going to be out there, and if you have something like this, it's just one of those like in baseball you have a utility player, someone who can play every position. This is kind of what this is like. Not a specialist in any position or any bait fish imitation, but just overall it's going to catch almost any fish. Now, here on the West Coast, these spoons are great for casting in the surf because they're super aerodynamic. You can get a lot of distance on your cast. So in my opinion, they come in gold and silver. I would go with the silver 1 ounce, which is the heaviest one that they sell, just because you'll get the most distance that way, and you don't really need to worry about it being too heavy in the surf. You're going to give it a good quick retrieve to keep it in the middle of the water column. You can catch surf perch, you can catch striped bass, you can catch halibut, pretty much any predatory fish in the surf, which is basically all of them out here on the West Coast, you're going to be able to catch with this. So anyways, a good all-around bait, and they sell 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, and 1 ounce on the website. Like I said earlier, I would recommend going with a 1 ounce. Second, this is a little shrimp imitation. It's called the Skelly shrimp. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But anyways, this is one that I think is definitely, like, I've seen Lawson catch so many fish on his channel on the East Coast because it's perfect little shrimp imitation. You just zip it across the bottom. Like I said, I'm no expert. I've never fished in Florida or anywhere on the East Coast, but I've seen him catch snook, tarpon, you know, stuff like that on this exact bait right here, or at least something similar to this. But here on the West Coast, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to try it out. I think maybe if I put it on like a drop shot, or I don't know, maybe a Carolina rig, maybe I can catch like a perch or something on this. You can definitely catch a rockfish. Rockfish will eat almost anything, but in my opinion, not the best West Coast bait. It's just too light, and I don't know. In my opinion, it's just, you just got better options out there. But anyways, this is the Skelly shrimp. There's a few different colors on the website if you want to check it out. It's a 3.5 inch. This is like a root beer chartreuse color. But like I said, I think there's some better options here for the West Coast. Now let's get to them. Okay, so those are the two that came in this month's inshore saltwater box. But Petchco also sent me a bunch more. Oh my God, things are flying everywhere. A bunch more that I'm gonna go through here. So let's start with, yeah, let's go to this one. These are the Salt Native Skelly Swims. There's Skelly shrimps, and these are the Skelly swims. These are little swim baits, and these are, I think, 3.5 inch. Yeah, 3.5 inch, a bunch of different colors. This is like electric chicken. This one is the like gold, no, glitter bomb. Sorry, got to get the right terminology here. But anyways, 3.5 inch swim baits is a few different colors. So these are what I was talking about. Perfect for like a drop shop setup. So if you want to get like maybe a 1 ounce torpedo weight with like let's see, maybe 2-aught or 3-aught, you know, bait holder or octopus hook, put one of these guys on there, throw it in the surf. You can definitely catch halibut, surf perch, striped bass. In my opinion, a lot of people like this color, which I've actually never tried. Might have to give it a shot. But in my opinion, the best one for, especially for halibut, is like a nice either white, something with some white in it, because I think maybe it stands out in the water. Maybe they're attracted to it because it looks similar to a squid, which is like one of their favorite meals. Anyways, get something with either a white bottom. I think they have like a mullet colored bait with a white bottom and like a darker top. That's the one I would get if I was going to throw a drop shot for some halibut. So anyways, this is the 3-inch swim bait, another good all-around bait. Halibut, rockfish, lingcod will definitely hit it. Striped bass, you can definitely catch perch, big perch maybe on this. A lot of different species will hit this here on the West Coast. But like I said, in my opinion, get it on a drop shot, get like a one with a white bottom at least, and then maybe a darker colored top, and I think you're good to go. It's 2 more. Okay, I'm gonna save the best for last. But next one, which I'm also actually really excited about, is a popper. It's called the Beast Walker. It's a 5-inch. Here, we'll take it out. Okay. There it is. 5-inch, 1 3/8 ounce, I believe. Yes, 1 3/8 ounce. I've never caught a striped bass specifically, or actually, I don't think I've caught any fish on a topwater, but most specifically here on the West Coast, a lot of people catch striped bass on topwater, which is something that I've never done. And next summer, you can guarantee that I'm going to be at least trying one of these, just to kind of, I want to check that off my bucket list, and I haven't done so yet. But there's a few different colors on the website. This is, like I said, I think this is called like gold drip or something like that. Yeah, definitely really sharp. And one thing that I've noticed on these baits, specifically this one and then the next one I'm going to go through, which I haven't seen on many baits of this style, is the hooks and the split rings. From what I can see, you know, I haven't put any big fish on them yet, so I can't guarantee it, but from the way it looks, just aesthetically, they look really, really strong. So a lot of the baits, you know, I won't say any names, but a lot of the baits that I've put on my channel before, you'll need to switch out the split rings and hooks because they're just too weak for our style fish, especially striped bass. They're just really, their jaw muscles are really strong, but it looks like these are pretty strong. I mean, I'm gonna fish it straight out of the box and see if it stands up to the test, but I think it will, to be honest, just looking at them. So anyways, that's the Beast Walker. I think this is called Gold Drip, the color. They have a few different colors. They have the traditional like white body with the red head color. I think that's, you know, really good for striped bass around here. I've seen a lot of people catch them on those. But anyways, I'm excited to throw this next summer when the striped bass are around. I think this could be the first topwater lure that I ever catch a fish on, but we'll see. All right, last but not least is this one right here. But instead of me talking about it here, let's go take this one out on the kayak and see if it can do anything out on the water. Today, we're gonna focus on this guy right here. And this is the Mad Minnow from Salt Native. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen it already. I posted a picture with this guy right here. To me, it kind of resembles, it's like an SP minnow if you throw those in the surf, or like a larger Lucky Craft, that kind of lure. Shallow diver, jerkbait basically. But the only difference with this one that I noticed right away is that the hooks and the split rings are both much stronger. So I'm thinking that you shouldn't need to swap out any hooks or split rings on this guy, but we'll find out today. I'm gonna put it to the test. Now, unfortunately, it's not striper season anymore in the Bay Area, so throwing this in the surf, probably not advised. I mean, you could always catch striped bass in the surf. There's always stragglers out there, but for the most part, winter is kind of dead as far as striped bass. So I'm taking this out to the bay today to see if I can put a halibut on this thing. I think, I've caught halibut on lucky crabs, on Kalisas, similar jerkbaits, a little bit smaller than this, but I think one's gonna hit this as well. But anyway, enough talking. I want to get my line in because the tide actually, I think it just turned. So we got slack tide right now. I'll explain more about that later, but basically slack tide is usually what you want to target when you're fishing in the bay. So anyways, let's get out to the spot, start trolling around, and then I'll explain more about what we're doing. I feel like when you're in a kayak, at least in this area, there's pretty much two ways you can fish it. You can fish it just straight up, cast it back, put it back, I don't know, 50, 60 feet, doesn't need to be that far back, and then just troll it just like that, just as if you were, it's called top lining. Basically no weight, you're just trolling it as if the lure is supposed to. Or, another way you could do it, instead of doing it that way, is you can troll it on the bottom. So there's a couple ways you can do that. One way is to add some weight to it, kind of put like a fish finder rig. Like if you watched my last video where we're drifting for halibut with live bait, you do something really similar to that and then just put this lure at the end rather than the live bait. But you wouldn't do that drifting, just to clarify. You want to do that trolling because you want to be moving pretty quick. So anyways, you could do it that way, or you could put it on the top. If I wanted to fish for striped bass, I think I'd fish it just straight up, because those fish are definitely closer to the top. But I think halibut is more likely right now, so I'm gonna fish it on the bottom to start at least. And if I see, a lot of striped bass marks, or especially if I see some topwater activity, I might take it off the downrigger and then just troll it straight up. So draw it back maybe 20 feet or so, and then clip it on the downrigger just as if I was fishing for salmon. And then hopefully a halibut will come by and eat it, or striper. You can catch striper on the bottom too. But anyways, hopefully something will come by and eat it. It'll pop off there, and then we'll bring them in. So I'm gonna try to get this diver's gonna, or the jerkbait's gonna dive a little bit deeper than where my downrigger weight is. So what I'm gonna try to do is drop this about 2 or 3 feet off the bottom. That should get that lure pretty close to the bottom, within a foot or so. And if it hits the bottom a couple times, that's okay. Right here, there shouldn't be any rocks out here. It should be mostly sand and mud. So I don't really want to drag on the bottom, but if it hits, ticks off the bottom every once in a while, that's totally fine. There's a fish, there's a fish. There's a fish. You think? Oh yeah, that's a fish. That's a fish. Got something here. I don't think it's very big. What do we have here? Looks like a halibut. Oh yeah, nice little halibut. Alright, well that is my first ever fish on a Salt Native lure. There you go. So it's a California halibut right there. That's a little one. I've caught some in the 30-inch plus range, actually almost 40 inches. You can see white on one side, brown on the other. That's because these fish, if you're on the East Coast, I'm probably familiar with fluke, but here on the West Coast, we have halibut. It's basically, same kind of fish, flat fish. It lives most of its life on the bottom. They will shoot up off the bottom to feed. So, if you leave your presentation up, a foot or two off the bottom, they'll definitely come up and grab it. I don't want to get hooked here. And I don't know about fluke on the East Coast, but halibut here on the West Coast, they got big teeth. So I'm sticking my hand in the gill plate here. You don't want to stick it inside the mouth. That'd be a costly mistake for you. So there you have it. There's my first ever salt native caught fish. Nice little halibut, probably about 15 to 18 inches, somewhere in that range. Super slimy fish. Have you ever held one? They got just really, I don't know how else to go, just slime. Most fish, they're slimy, but I don't know, for whatever reason these halibut have like an extra sliminess to them. You can see that? Like a booger almost. Anyways, small one, we'll get him back. Maybe someday we'll catch him when he's a 40 incher. Oh, just tasted some of this bay water. Don't recommend doing that. So there is actually one more bait that I don't have on me today, which is the little hair razor bait, which I will be throwing definitely in the upcoming months for rockfish and lingcod. It's definitely also a good bait for halibut, striped bass in the surf. So check it out, as well as these other baits. Check out all the different colors, shapes, and sizes that they have on the shopcarls.com website. I'll leave a link in the description. One last thank you again to Mr. Tech Bucks for sponsoring today's video. I'm really excited to get out on the water and try all these, especially next summer when the striped bass are hitting. I feel like definitely the Mad Minnow, definitely the Beast Walker, and probably some of these other ones as well. I think they're going to be really good for striped bass out here. So anyways, I'm really excited to cast them all out there. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section below. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.